So then that's going to give us that can shoot value. Yeah, I realize I'll probably need to do a little bit of graphic design at this point, because I'm probably implementing something that I'm not going to keep, but we are getting to the point where we need to start thinking about long-term graphical decisions. Because I want to start doing the GUI today, so let me just grab something here which is printing. This one. We don't need these, we know it's working now. We'll call these freeze effect and unfreeze effect. Okay. So the next phase I think is actually really simple. We can just go into the game state and we can just say we can implement this to do here. So the next phase is actually really simple, I think. Current phase is equal to phase 2. Right? We need to prefix the enums with the name of the enum. So phases.phase 2. Right? And then we should be able to shoot again, because we said we check if phase 1 is there, and I think there's just one more thing I want to do, is I want to update this clock. So there's something about the clock I forgot, because we probably want to put an understate as well. So oh no, I see. So we might want to put a color rect underneath this. So the children are always going to So if we set this value to like 1, okay. Sweet. So then I think what we want to do is we actually just want to disable this button. And then when we switch phases, we want to say, what was it called? So that's our game state. Well, we want to emit a signal, change phase, and we may as well say phases.phase 2, even though it's not really important, because I only really imagine 2 phases in this game for now. So yeah. But I may as well just do it this way, and we'll just call this phase. Alright, so now what we need is we need our controls to listen again to this game state. We jump into our GUI controls, and on ready, I think we already have a game state reference. So up here we're going to say underscore C is equal to the game state dot connect, and we want to connect the change phase to ourself, and we're going to say on game state change phase as the name of the handler. And let's go down right to the bottom and implement our handler. We're putting handlers up there now. Okay. Boot phase number, which we're not going to use at this point, and just pass. Okay. And I'm just going to drag all of our handlers to the very bottom because that's what I've been doing in my other classes, and I may as well be consistent here. Right, so when we change our phase, what we want to do is we want to find our shoot button, I believe. Yeah, our shoot button, and we just is it our shoot button that's disabled? No. It's our shoot icon, which is actually a button, I realize. Enable dot disabled equals false. Right? So that means that when we change phases, that button should become re-enabled. Now our theme right now is a bit of a mess. Maybe we can edit that later on. Okay. We can't really shoot at this point, but we can load up weapons in the meantime. And when our timer runs out, our button becomes enabled and we can shoot. Cool. Alright, so we now essentially have pretty much the entire gameplay arc. The last thing we want to do is we want to destroy all the stars when the phase changes. So that's a bit odd, isn't it? But I guess what we do is we actually want the world to manage that event. So we're going to jump into the world, right? And we've already got our game state here, and what we're going to say here, now ready callback. Is we're going to say underscore C is equal to game state dot connect. Right, so we're going to connect to the phase that changed. Change phase. Change phase, okay. And we're going to register ourselves and a handler called on game state change phase. And in fact, I'm not even going to do this here. I'm going to do this on the stars themselves. Right? So we're going to say, oops. So whenever we do that, and I guess we're just going to die. We don't really have a die on here, do we? We could create well, I think we definitely want to create a public API for die. Die, right? And we'll just pass. In fact, we'll just key3 at this point. And then we forgot to implement this handler. So this should be a handler. And we'll just put underscore phase because we don't care about it right now. And I'm going to move all these down to the bottom and put it in a new area called handlers. And what we're going to do is we're just going to die. In fact, let's not bother with this right now and just do it in the handler. Because we're going to have some interesting little things happen when a star times out. Because I don't want the same animation for a pickup. I want them to sort of fizzle out. So if we go into our star scene, and what I'm going to do, that light occluder is a weird shape. Okay, so inside our star scene, I believe what we want is an animation player. Animation player. And I'm going to call this the fizzle, or let's say just timeout animation. Okay, and we're going to create a new animation, and we're going to call it, hold on, this probably should just be an animation player. And we'll create a new animation, and we'll call it our timeout. I'm going to add the property of star, and oops, not the star. We want to animate the property of the sprite, right? And I think we just